This time on Project Beyond, we're pouring one out, saying goodbye to gaskets that can't easily handle a few bumps in the road. And how exactly is that new bridge thing going to work with flushometer fixtures? We're working on two parallel projects, building our custom test platform with sensors, actuators, and more, plus using our existing plastic tank in a new way by adapting it to flushometer-driven fixtures. Flushometer spuds are generally smaller in diameter than standard 2-inch and the popular 3-inch tank flush valves of today. So we know that there will be a reduction in performance and pressure, but we're trying it anyway. It will give us a preview of future experiments with the advanced tank system that we're building. We should be able to show off the temporary tank-to-flushometer spud setup in action by the end of this month. But before we can do any testing, we need to get a tight seal on the uneven rear surface of the Kilgore Argus, and more mechanical stability. We designed and 3D printed a mold that we can drop right into the fixture's inlet and create a new custom gasket right in place. Here's the how-to behind it. We created a temporary, even surface inside the inlet with a small amount of fast-cure silicone from Alumilite, and then built a block for the bottom of the mold to lock into and make up the height difference. The upper surface of the gasket mold's outer ring will be level with the lowest part of the inlet surround, and we'll double-check that the mold itself is perfectly level. Since there is a tiny gap between the mold and fixture, we'll first seal it with a bead of the same fast-cure silicone. And with silicone's strong adhesion to itself, it will automatically bond to the additional silicone when we pour it. With the mold now sealed to the fixture, we'll create a temporary dam of simple cardboard and packing tape. Not fancy, but functional. And now we're ready to go. We'll use a longer setting, clear silicone from Let's Resin and tint it blue. We'll simply pour it onto the fixture surface and let it fill everything in. We'll stop once it reaches the top of the gasket mold. After curing for a few hours, we'll make a small notch in the back of the gasket as an alignment indicator, and then trim it down to size. The underside of the new gasket has the exact opposite profile of the imperfections and fits like a glove. But what happens when it gets tightened down by the spud nut? Will the top of the spud be level? Yes. We'll show you the next step, creating the level surface and mounting plate design, in the next video. But before we go, how would we adapt our new tank-to-fixture bridge that we showed off in the last video to flushometer fixtures? By using a special inlet adapter that will thread onto our custom spud made of cast deep pore resin. Why build a custom one? Because existing spuds assume that we'd be using a dedicated flushometer and fixed piping, and only some of that is going to be true for our upcoming tank and flushometer test platforms. And while we know that there are quite a few fixture purists out there, that's including us too, who may think that we're making way too many changes compared to the OG, the end results will be as close hydraulically and functionally as possible to normal installations. We think you're gonna love it. Coming up, we're pouring more silicone as we create the level surface for the fixture attachment plate. Next time on Project Beyond.